They had a video that became a web sensation. The entire world seen the video. And there will never be been no captures since October the 29th. What sort of situation is this, right? I simply don't comprehend it. We are requesting a general intercession strategic mediation from the leader of the U.S. The State Division to do whatever is important to bring equity, definitely truth be told. And in the event that she wasn't thumped to death, someone requirements to tell us precisely what occurred. And there are 6 individuals who were there who know the responses, and they should be available someplace where they are being asked and requested of reality. Snatch your popcorn, people, since we have a genuine secret on our hands. Shanquella Robinson's mom let the cat out of the bag to legitimate Falcon Nancy Elegance about the loathsome subtleties of her girl's destruction on a jaunt to Mexico with her lady buddies. The unfortunate last kicked the pail in late October last year, and her family and allies are requiring some serious equity. Presently tune in up on the grounds that this is where it gets delicious. Allies of the killed glamorous lady are giving specialists the piercing glare for not dipping in on her 6 sidekicks, who are dubiously finished during her equity rally. These slippery 6 remaining Shanquella alone for more than 2 hours, despite the fact that she confided in them enough to fly set to Cabo San Lucas and move in with them in a fancy manner. Our Lady Nancy effortlessness. 8-1 to beat around the bush. And she's persuaded that Shankwell's purported companions plotted her unfavorable end. She's requiring the Link 6 to be bound and tossed in prison immediately. So what's the tea that has the Cabo Six trembling in fear? Stay tuned, my lovelies, since I'm going to spill the quite hot dates. Her folks Lizard and Bernard Robinson have uncovered some historic mysteries about their little girl's purported companions who went with her on her disastrous excursion. To Link, prepare yourselves, since this will be a wild ride. Surfaced in the demise of Knife Willow Robinson. The 25-year-old seriously pulsated, obviously by a companion, while on a gathering trip in Mexico for reasons unknown. Shankwell's partner in crime directly up missiled her folks about her demise for a really long time after she died. Yet hang on, it deteriorates legitimate whiz Nancy Beauty suspects that could at any point went down in Kaiba was a very much arranged death. Yes, you heard that right, a death in companions. Not just let the family know that Shanquella Robinson had liquor harming. Yet they likewise advised that to police today. Specialists missiled me that assertion was the Cabo Six had the boldness to call the Robinsons and tell a tall tale about Shanquella biting the dust from liquor harming, yet stand by there's more. Shankwell is BFF Carl Cook volunteered to carry Shankwell's bag and possessions to the Hello family's home and solace them each and every day. Discuss a genuine companion. Yet things took a dim turn when Lizard uncovered that the pack had arranged garments for Shankwell's burial service just to pull a disappearing act once the demise testament showed up. And here's where it gets really nerve-wracking. As per the passing declaration, Shanquella kicked the bucket from a wrecked spinal rope and neck, as though that weren't sufficient to creep you out. Lizards coincidentally found a video of another lady violently going after Shanquella while her alleged companion held on, and recorded the entire thing on their telephone. Salamandra was totally nauseated by the recording and is currently persuaded that her little girl was killed without blinking. And who does Nancy Beauty accept is liable for this grievous wrongdoing? That is correct. Shankwell's own partners, the assault on her while she rested with shooting and others remaining by is proof enough for Nancy that the cavern was 6 plotted Shankwella's less than ideal end. We have hardly any insight into you, yet this all sounds like something straight out of a genuine wrongdoing digital broadcast. This wonderful youngster, with her life in front of her, goes on a young lady's end of the week for certain companions, and she never returns home alive. She wasn't in any event. Retaliating, they went after Salamandra, said in a new meeting with Nancy Elegance. The Mexican specialists have given a capture warrant for the vile demonstration of femicide, or the killing of a lady as a result of her orientation. Yet that is not all. The FBI Charlotte field office has likewise stepped in to research the less than ideal end of Shanquella Robinson. Anyway, the casualty's family is feeling disappointed and left in obscurity, as specialists have been quiet about the subtleties of the warrant, and the advancement of the examination come on folks give them something to work with. While authorities say they should remove the individual named in the warrant to have to deal with penalties in Mexico, Shanquella's folks and Nancy Elegance are requiring the whole gathering to be considered responsible for their activities. After this youthful business visionary and business understudy lost her life in such a silly and fierce way, they need a fair consequence given. And they need it now. Someone was videoing this. They get her up, she's buck bare. And they start a clench hand. Hurt this hurt to the court, mourned Bernard Robinson. She was my lone kid. She had so much happening for herself. The subtleties encompassing Shanquella's passing remained covered in secret, yet a police report recommends that she got clinical consideration for a few hours prior to dying anyway. Her demise declaration recounts an alternate story. It expresses that she passed on only a short time subsequent to supporting her wounds, proposing that somebody might be endeavoring to conceal their tracks, yet look, can you essentially retaliate regardless of the disarray and vulnerability? Salamandra has been working resolutely to sort out the occasions that prompted her girls. An opportune end in an open meeting with Nancy Effortlessness. On November 28th, she uncovered a few stunning subtleties. For one, the lady found in the now popular video over and again hitting Shanquella is for sure DJ Jackson. As many had thought, Lizard additionally affirmed that the video of the squabble, which had been broadly circled before her girl's demise, just filled her feelings of dread and doubts that unfairness was involved. Applause. Somebody called me and told me before they even showed up back to Charlotte, North Carolina, that they were around there battling her. So I didn't have the foggiest idea how genuine it was. Salamandra informed Nancy. As per Lizard, it was subsequently posted on Facebook and a companion side, and messaged it to her by then Shanquella's friends had previously gotten back to North Carolina. No less than 2 days after her passing on October 29th, they escaped Mexico. So I feel like that is you got to have a few charges that they can put every one of these __ in prison for. So after they got back and Shanquella had passed, the video had surfaced on Facebook and somebody sent it to my family. She said Lizard likewise uncovered that her girl delighted in dozing stripped and was in all probability resting not long before the assault in the viral video, which Nancy likewise referenced. She was a decent kid and had an extraordinary heart, and she didn't merit being dealt with. Appreciate that the mother said Nancy Elegance's objection for the capture of the Lake Six has joined the chorale of millions overall, requesting the American-Mexican government accelerate the cycle, and which he talks the Cabo Six shutter. And it's not in vain Nancy has felt the agony of losing a friend or family member. You could close the hole on the organization, saying that they're ignorant about the case. They don't have the foggiest idea what to ask is. And they don't have any idea what's going on with the case, so we gave them sort of a summation of in her more youthful days. Nancy was an English writing major at Mercer College in Georgia, spending her hours lost in a way that would sound natural to Shakespeare, preparing of a future as a teacher. She was likewise drawn in to be hitched to Keith Griffin, a geography understudy working for Ingram Development Organization. Anyway, misfortune struck when Griffin was shot and killed by a previous collaborator, Tommy McCoy, who had as of late been discharged from the development organization, been following the information here. But since, in light of the fact that there's a FBI examination in progress, there's tiny that Nancy's reality disintegrated around her, and she was left without a craving and needed to enjoy some time off from school. To welcome, she in the end diverted her pain into turning into a legitimate expert and the host of her own show, Wrongdoing Stories, with Nancy Beauty on Fox Country. Now she is battling for equity for Shanquella Robinson and asking specialists to act quickly against those liable for her obligation I had no clue about what was happening on the planet until Keith was killed, the now veteran lawful observer said from that point forward. I've been driven by the possibility that if I would stop one wrongdoing, everything will work out for the best. In view of this, she is giving her best for guarantee Shanquella gets equity. Nancy Elegance is determined to look for equity for Shankwell or Robinson, and she solidly accepts that the Cabo Six, her kindred voyagers, are liable for her homicide, in addition to the fact that they supposedly serious the shocking wrongdoing. Yet they likewise supposedly endeavored to mess with proof by misleading Quella's family and American specialists. As a notable TV character, Nancy's position working on it has ignited public talk and brought up issues about the sufficiency of state regulations. I'm with Nancy on this 100. It's serving a terrible point of reference, with no capture in the event that we have hamburger with somebody. We can travel to another nation and deal with it, and nothing will fundamentally happen to us. That model they're setting Mexico and the USD to discover a few equity for the unfortunate lady and her family. The public likewise significantly respected Nancy's endeavors. One of them said, Nancy effortlessness, thank you for your unfaltering endeavors to bring equity for Shankwell at Robinson. Nancy effortlessness has been profoundly fruitful in her vocation, and she exhibited remarkable steadiness during the examination concerning Shankwell's homicide. Her endeavors in uncovering critical data assisted with reinforcing the charges against the Cabo Six, who were Shankwell as venturing out colleagues, and added to the lawful